His drool-worthy food videos are the rage.
You are never comfortable with what you're doing right now. You always want to
Yeah.
grow.
While he is a household name for recipes and more.
My vision is to hire more people, to build a really large team, to grow as a content creator and also into the digital food space.
NewsX influencer A-list proudly recognizes Sanjyot Keer for influence in food content creation.
Hello and welcome. You joining us on NewsX Influencer A-list. With us today is the founder of Your Food Lab. Sanjyot Keer is with us on the broadcast. Sanjyot, thank you so much for joining us and a very warm welcome to NewsX.
Hi, Paridi. Thank you so much for having me. Glad to be here on the show.
Absolutely, we're really glad to have you. Sanjyot, we've all seen these lovely, scrumptious food videos that you're putting up, this amazing content that you're putting out there. Help us understand. Is this something that has been your passion since your childhood?
Firstly, thank you so much. Yes, cooking has always been this kind of, happy thing for me as a kid.
Yeah.
I started off cooking at a very young age, and like how kids used to look up to movies and dress up like actors and actresses and all of that sort and copy them. I looked at street food vendors and I wanted to replicate
Yeah.
those recipes at home. So that is how my childhood was. And yes, that passion grew on me, and I took this up professionally. I started cooking. Um, Initially, I never wanted to be on the screen, or I had never thought that I'll be producing food videos someday. But then an early career opportunity was to be a food producer for MasterChef India season 4 extra class. And that is where I got to know, how a food show is curated, how it is
Yeah.
shot. And it was pretty glamorous and very interesting. And that is how my interest to become a chef content producer uh, just it interested me quite a lot, and I started creating videos.
Yeah. So, Sanjot, you just mentioned that you were, of course, a producer for MasterChef, correct? In 2018, if I'm
Yeah,
not mistaken. Yeah.
in 2014.
In 2014. All right. So I stand corrected. So,
Yes.
so you've been in the TV industry. You know how the television media works. But you did not choose to go with the television medium. You picked digital content creation. Why, if I may ask you?
Um, this was really early in my career, and I spent like about 8 to 9 months on that show.
Yeah.
And after that show, it just struck me that that I could do this at my home. I'm really tech friendly, and I love
Yeah.
photography and videography, and that is how I just decided that I wanted to create for myself. Why do I
Hmm.
curate a show on television? Why don't I do it for myself?
Yeah.
And yeah, I just took it up. I did not have the resources to do it initially.
Hmm.
It started off with renting out cameras, making DIY lights at home, shooting
Yeah.
on my dining table in my living room for almost 2 years. And it was a very humble beginning, but people loved the content. I got really early access to a lot of good viewership.
Yeah.
YFL grew to about 1 lakh followers in just a month time.
Wow.
And we grew pretty fast. And that is how I started to realize that, this medium could really work for me in the longer run.
Hmm.
And that is how I started investing a lot of time and effort into creating content. Um,
Was
yeah.
it ever intimidating, Sanjot? I mean, as a child, I remember there was Khana Khazana that was all over the place,
Yeah.
right? Namak Swad Anusar is feeded in our heads now. Was it ever,
Right.
intimidating to kind of go up against that because that standard is just so high?
I've always been a fan of Chef Sanjeev Kapoor. As a kid, I've always watched Khana Khazana on TV.
Correct.
Chef Harpal Sokhi also is, I've been a huge fan of him. And watching these superstars for me as a chef on TV was something I could never think of. Might be I'll, compete. I don't
Yeah.
choose that word compete. I don't agree with that because I feel food is an art, content creation is again an art, and
Hmm.
everyone can display their art now on the internet.
Yeah.
It's become so easy. Initially on television it was quite difficult. You had to audition, you needed a break,
Mm.
you needed a production house and a channel to actually approve of you to be actually telecasted on a news channel, or on a TV channel, or on a TV
Yeah.
show. But through the internet as a medium, it's become so easy for someone like me to actually start producing content and get it out there, be in front of the world, and prove, that I can do this. And I'm so glad that, when I come across like Chef Harpal Sokhi, he admires YFL work. And I feel so happy about it now
Yeah.
when I get this from such amazing chefs. And it's never going to be a competition, but I feel it's a lot of people now trying their hands on content creation, and food is a very
Yeah.
big market for
Absolutely.
content consumption in India and globally. And it's a open playground for everybody.
Yeah.
And yeah, that is how I just started to think about how can I prove myself. And initially I was scared, but then as soon as I got a lot of positive feedback from my audiences, that is what kept me going.
Okay, very interesting that you in fact mentioned the fact that when you think of a television house or like, a television channel, there's a lot that goes into the production, right? So there's a pre-production team, there's a camera crew,
Right.
there's going to be a creative crew that's going to, pan it out for you. Digital content creation, from what I understand, Sanjot, and from the videos that I've seen of you, did highly produced, really well produced videos. What is the process that goes into it? What is your team like? How many people are you that are that are curating your content for YFL?
So the biggest difference between a TV show and content created by creators like me is that it never starts with the best production quality. In the
Yeah.
initial days, it was with very basic resources. And as soon as I started churning out revenue out of my content creation, that
Hmm.
is when I started investing back into, the production bit.
Yeah.
For a content creator, the pre-production, production, post-production, everything is in-house. Everything is like you are the sole person doing everything initially, but then
Yeah.
you realize that at a certain level, if you want to grow and you
Hmm.
want better production quality, you need to hire more people. You need to have a really talented and amazing team. And that is what we did. Initially, I was working with one of my team members. We were two of us
Hmm.
we started in 2016. Now we are a team of 5 people who are the core team members who
Hmm.
do the pre-production, production, and post-production. And these are really talented people who have been creating the best digital food content out there. It requires a lot in terms of production equipment. This
Yeah.
space, it is a dream space where I'm right now sitting in. It's my kitchen where I shoot.
Yeah.
And all of this has happened by producing content every single day.
So then, very interesting, and this might be a bit of a personal question, Sanjot, but I have to ask you. As far as revenue is concerned, how long did it
Right.
take you to start generating revenue? Because when we talk about digital content creation, we talk about viewership, and the main focus is viewership. But we forget that it's also a profession, right? You also have to earn something out of it. How long did it take
Right.
for you to start generating revenue? And is it enough for you at this point where you are? Is it a comfortable place to be in?
So revenue absolutely is a very key factor to actually take this up as a profession.
Yeah.
Initially, everybody asked me when I started out as a creator that how are you going to earn? To be really frank, I did not have any clue about it.
Yeah.
The initial bit was to reach people, to create an audience for myself, and then the next step would have been, that how do I create revenue now? How do I
Hmm.
generate this revenue stream for myself? It took me almost about a year after I started producing content. And my first revenue deal was with an FMCG company where I
Okay.
endorsed a brand on my platform. So that is how it started. But then later on, there were different revenue streams which opened up. I
Hmm.
started earning money through the ad breaks through the
Hmm.
platforms. Then I also did a lot of brand collaborations, a lot of brand endorsements, a lot of production work for brands because my production quality is really good. And that is how we start creating videos for brands themselves.
Hmm.
And a lot of these revenue streams opened up, but it surely took almost about a year without any money in the initial phase where I was investing into my content myself. Right now, to answer your second part of the question, that am I really comfortable with the amount of money I'm generating right now.
Yeah.
To be really frank, again, you are never comfortable with what you're doing right now. You always want to grow.
Yeah.
And surely my vision is to hire more people, to build a really large team, to grow as a content creator and also into the digital food space. And for that, obviously, we need to, create more revenue streams, and
Yeah.
we are working towards it. Um, right now, the money what comes in, it absolutely takes care of all the production, the space, the
Hmm.
human resource required for production. But yeah, there's always a room for growing, and we are looking forward to grow even further.
Absolutely, more power to you, Sanjyot. We all want
Thank
these
you.
lovely videos that make us hungry in the night, but well, lovely nonetheless. Thank you so much, Sanjyot, for joining us on NewsX. It has been an absolute pleasure to have you on NewsX Influencer A-list, and more power to you. Keep growing.
Thank you, Paridi. The pleasure is mine. Thank you for having me. Take care.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.